Sau đây kính mời Chủ tịch Hội đồng Tác động Chính phủ, ngài Jim Daytona lên điều khiển phần giới thiệu thành phần giới chức Liên bang Hoa Kỳ và tiểu bang California.
Now we would like to welcome a very special moment that we would like to welcome a very special person. Please have a big applause to Mr. Jim Daytona, the President of Government Impact, and we would love to invite you up on stage and give us a few words. Thank you, sir.
Dạ, vậy trong lúc mà chờ đợi các vị quan khách có quan trọng tới đây thì xin mời quý vị, nhà hàng chắc là sắp sửa serve chút đồ ăn cho khách hàng. Dạ.
Well, here I am again. Actually, let me apologize again that the senator is a little bit late, but what I would like to do is actually, it's even almost a bigger honor for me to introduce both. Let me tell you a little bit. I had fortunately been able to work with the Prime Minister. I am honored to be able to work with him. I have worked in Washington, D.C. with people like Joe Biden, who I think is a great vice president, Bill Clinton, and a number of other folks in Washington, D.C. I was formerly Chief of Staff to Senator Roberti. Thank you. And I can tell you that many of my friends have served in Vietnam, and so this is a great honor for me to be here today with all of you. Certainly with the Prime Minister, who has done so much, not only for the Vietnamese here in America, but for the refugee camps and for all of the locations of which he's been so generous and so good. So what I'd like to do is change the program, if I could, a little bit, doing a little bit the American political way. And I'd like to bring up here somebody who I'm really honored is here today. He represents the city of Los Angeles. He is very close to me in many different ways, but he's up here to make a presentation to the Prime Minister, and that is my son, who is Chief of Staff to the Los Angeles City Council, Jim Daytona Jr.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Daytona Jr. Thank you for having me today. I'm here on behalf of the City of Los Angeles to honor and recognize the Honorable Prime Minister for the incredible efforts he has made for the Vietnamese community here in the United States and also abroad throughout the world. We also want to recognize the amazing work he has done in the business community to create jobs, to create economic investment here in this country. And so on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, we have created a resolution signed by the Mayor of the City of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, City Attorney Mike Feuer, City Controller Ron Galperin, and the leadership of the Los Angeles City Council, Councilman Herb Wesson, Councilman Mitch Englander, and Councilwoman Nuri Martinez, and to honor the Prime Minister and thank him for all of his efforts and how much it means to us in government who represent the people and throughout the world. Thank you so much, sir.
Xin mời quý vị cho một tràng pháo tay ạ. Thank you, Mr. Jim Daytona Jr.
Kính thưa quý vị, cái resolution nó quan trọng hơn và nó ghi rõ ràng những chiến công của cái người mà được nhận cái giải thưởng resolution này, nó quan trọng và nó lớn hơn và nó mạnh hơn một cái award. Thank you.
I will take the liberty of making this presentation since the Senator is late and I know he has a keynote address to give, and I think this would be, certainly I've done this before, and I'm honored to do it now. This is in fact a resolution from the state of California, takes in the California State Assembly, the Senate, and certainly the governor, who I spoke to last week, wishes his best and was sorry he couldn't be here. However, we have a meeting with him soon, so that will be nice. However, this resolution is also from the state of California, saluting the Prime Minister for all the great things he's done for the Vietnamese Americans, for those who are abroad in refugee camps, and really for never losing heart and remembering the people and the history of what went on in Vietnam, what is going on in Vietnam. And because of that, I can honestly tell you, I've known the Prime Minister some time now. He is one of the most honorable people I know. I am totally impressed by him. I will also say that the people from the White House send their best to you, the President and the Vice President. And again, this is a presentation from the state of California. I'm proud to give it to him, and I know Senator Roberti will be here shortly to address the whole group. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would love to welcome back Mr. Honorable Jim D'Antona back to stage. Thank you, sir.
I think I need that. Well, we are honored here right now as Senator Roberti and his lovely wife June have just walked in over here. I'm both honored and thrilled to be able to actually introduce my former boss. I had the pleasure and the honor of working for him for almost 10 years. And I can tell you that Senator Roberti, President Pro Tem, one of the most powerful people in the state of California for many years. His name will be there for many years for the great things he's done. Also worked for people who didn't have other people fighting for them. I saw him do it every day. He was a true fighter, as the Prime Minister is. He is a man who believes that those that don't have someone representing them should represent them. And I'm not only proud to introduce him as the Senate President Pro Tem David Roberti, but also as one of my dear friends. Senator Roberti, would you like to come up?
Xin mời ông David Roberti, Chủ tịch Quốc hội California, lên đọc nghị quyết vinh danh Thủ tướng Đào Minh Quân.
Mr. David Roberti, President of California Senate, represents State of California, announce a solution to honor Prime Minister Đào Minh Quân.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm really honored to be here on this celebration for the Prime Minister, Đào Minh Quân. And it is important for all of us to speak to groups who want to keep freedom alive. And that's what you are doing with your government and with your Vietnamese community in California. We honor the Prime Minister, and we honor people for a number of things. We honor them for courage. And Prime Minister, I was impressed to read your background, where you were a leader of political warfare, You were a leader of the Black Tigers. You are a very brave man for all that you believe in. So we honor people for their courage in fighting for what they believe in, but we also honor people for their accomplishments as well. And so I applaud you on this year commemorating your election as Prime Minister of your people. And know that the day will come, one day in the future, we don't know when, that Vietnam will be free again. I'd like to make a little comment, not necessarily related to Vietnam, but related to people who seek freedom everywhere. When I was first elected as a very young man in my district, which was in the Hollywood area, I needed to have a location for my victory celebration. And near my house was something called the Lithuanian Hall. The Lithuanians were a people who were conquered many times by the Nazis and then by the communists in Russia. And then their country was totally dissolved and became part of Russia. And nobody ever thought that freedom would rise again. But it did. It did. A little country, smaller than Vietnam, a little country, and two other little countries near there regained their freedom. Not only do they continue to exist in freedom, but the oppressor nation, the Soviet Union, has dissolved. So I say that because your group is very important, not only for all the work you do, but because you keep hope alive. And hope must be kept alive for all the people who struggle for freedom. We don't know when, we don't know how, but we know if you keep hope alive, that great day will come for Vietnam as well. So I'm proud to have been asked to present this resolution in honor of the Prime Minister, and to say that I am truly impressed by a man who has reached the heights among his people, as you have, Mr. Prime Minister, but who has shown extraordinary courage in fighting for the people of Vietnam and continuing that struggle to this very day. Thank you.
Xin trân trọng kính mời Thủ tướng Đào Minh Quân lên sân khấu để trao quà lưu niệm cho ông Chủ tịch Quốc hội California.
We would like to invite Prime Minister Đào Minh Quân on stage to present a souvenir to our President of Senate of California.
It will go in the cabinet in my living room.
Thank you.
Đồng thời xin mời Trung tướng Quách Thế Hùng đến trao quà lưu niệm cho ông Jim Daytona.
Xin quý vị cùng cảm các bạn. Thank you so much. Yes. Leonard. Yes, we'd like to invite Jim Daytona Jr. Please come up. Thank you.
Và xin mời Chuẩn tướng Nguyễn Đức Thắng lên trao quà lưu niệm cho ông Jim Daytona Jr.
Jim Daytona Jr., Chief of Staff to Los Angeles City Councilman member. And we would like to invite Mr. Leonard Stack, President Casino and Gaming Resort Corporation.
Xin kính mời Thiếu tướng Lý Huỳnh Sanh lên trao quà lưu niệm cho ông Leonard Stack. Tiếp theo xin mời ông Nori Martinez, Los Angeles Councilman member.
We'd like to invite Mr. Nuri Martinez from Los Angeles Councilman member. Thank you. And also, we would like to invite Mr. Frank Marasco, President and CEO of West High Yield.
Xin mời quý vị quan khách danh dự quay trở về chỗ ngồi và ông
Please return to
Frank
your seat.
Marasco sẽ
Honorable Prime Minister Dao Min Kwan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all, particularly the Prime Minister, for inviting me today. Chào các bạn. I'll just give you a little background how I met the Prime Minister. And I met the Prime Minister through an old business friend named John Lee that introduced me to Wei Lam, who told me about the Prime Minister and his mission. And I was very surprised on what I heard. So I was so intrigued about this mission and the passion that the Prime Minister wanted to do and to liberate his people and his country, Vietnam. So I asked Wei if the PM would be interested in an asset that would help his country and his people for 3,000 years. The reason why I'm here is we have a strategic asset, and that strategic asset is strategically located in Canada, and it's probably one of the biggest magnesium silica deposits on Earth, open pit. And just for the people that don't understand what magnesium is, and in particularly for the Department of Defense, it is the lightest and strongest metal on Earth based on weight to density ratio. But the neat thing about this product is it comes with magnesium oxide. Not only does it produce a metal, it produces magnesium wallboard that will replace your OSB board, your plywood, your drywall, and your cement board. But it's fireproof, smoke-proof, termite-proof, waterproof, and it lasts for thousands of years. It also produces magnesium batteries, magnesium nitrate fertilizer. So it's an amazing product. So I was asked by Wei to introduce me to the PM, and maybe in the future we could partner up and share this wonderful asset, because this asset for one person or for one company is way too big to own. There's literally trillions and trillions of dollars of magnesium sitting there. And this would help him liberate 90 million people economically. So, our future strategy is to partner up with the Prime Minister that could help him financially help save his country and again have cash flow for 3,000 years. The reason why I picked him over 4 or 5 other groups that are interested in this asset is because this is humanitarian. This belongs to many people, not just to one corporation. And God willing, He gave me to shepherd this asset, and I believe in God very much, like all of you do too here, and there's a reason why we're here. So I hope this all comes to fruition, that this partnership can help liberate and help support economically your country that you want to get back to. So I thank you all for this opportunity to present and meet the Prime Minister. Come on. Thank you.
Cảm ơn ông Frank Marasco. Và tiếp theo xin mời ông Leonard Stack, Chủ tịch của Casino and Gaming Resorts Corporation, lên diễn đàn.
We'd like to welcome Mr. Leonard Stack, President, Casino and Gaming Resort Corporation.
Thank you very much for the invitation to appear here today and say a few words of the history of the events that led up to April 30th, 1975. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister Dow, Honorable David Roberti, and all honored guests who have joined us here today for this celebration of remembrance and the hope that one day we will return to Vietnam in peace and in freedom. The events leading up to April 30th, 1975 actually started many years prior to that. Immediately after World War II ended, the Japanese were located militarily in Vietnam. They and their French allies were defeated by the Japanese militarily. The king in Vietnam, who some of you may recognize as King Bao Dai, had his imperial capital in the city of Hue. He resisted the Japanese in 1945, and he helped the French form a new provisional French government in Vietnam under the supervision of the king. The king tried to restore order and peace for the people of Vietnam. Then, as in now, they learned and yearned for freedom. He was resisted by enemies in the north. As you know, the Viet Minh Communist forces, with the help of the communists from mainland China, started the first war in Vietnam. The Viet Minh subjected the citizens of the north. They ruled the north with an iron fist. They closed the universities, the churches, independent newspapers. They imprisoned the intellectual people, and they took the land from the farmers who rightfully owned it. The communists of the north, using their ideology, impoverished the citizens of North Vietnam. Encouraged by their success in the north, they changed their tactics and signed the peace accords in Geneva in 1954, essentially separating the north and giving that to the communist regime, and everything south of the 17th parallel formed the new Republic of Vietnam. A new state in Vietnam was formed with the former king, Bao Dai, as the new prime minister in Saigon. A constitutional government was instituted, guaranteeing the people free speech, freedom of assembly, a free press, and religious freedom. God was still active in South Vietnam. The state of Vietnam then evolved into the First Republic of Vietnam in 1955. But soon in the north, again supported by China and now Russia, broke the Geneva Treaty and began the infiltration and later open warfare on the citizens of South Vietnam. The French, having been in Indochina for many, many years, were seeking to protect their economic interests in the South with the help of the United States government. After the Gulf of Tonkin incident in 1964, President Lyndon Johnson committed American military forces to assist the Republican National Government in the South, to resist attacks from the north, and the American GIs came to Vietnam to fight along the side of their Vietnamese brothers in arms. Years of fighting ensued at a high cost in blood, in lives, suffering of the people, and loss of the national treasure, all spent honorably by the people of Vietnam to resist the communists. The American forces largely left Vietnam in 1972. The Free Vietnamese forces, now running low ammunition and war material to resist the North, were outmatched by communist forces supplied with new weapons and tanks from both Russia and Chinese forces. We all remember that day on April 30th, 1975. The chaos, the fear, the evacuation of the U.S. was seen on every TV set across America. The communist suppression then began immediately. Freedoms were revoked. The people were taken away. Those who resisted were placed in re-education camps, starved, or even worse. Those who resisted, including the new government, now forming, had to flee their home country in boats as refugees and begin new lives in new countries. And many came here to America. America was a big into the Vietnamese because America represented in 1975, as it does today, freedom, equality, opportunity. And so the Provisional National Republic of Vietnam was formed, and the Honorable Dow Minh Quan was elected as its Prime Minister. For more than 30 years, the Prime Minister has worked, has toiled, has encouraged his people both here and abroad to not give up hope, and where the Vietnamese are now seeking freedom and opportunity for the generations who will follow. The goal of the Prime Minister and his government is to bring freedom to Vietnam, freedom, peace, and opportunity to all the citizens of a free Republic of Vietnam. In conclusion, we take this opportunity to thank the Prime Ministers, to salute Honorable Quan Minh Dao, and to salute freedom and liberty for all. Salute. Thank you so much. Come on. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your speech.
Và tiếp theo đây sẽ là thông điệp của Thủ tướng Đào Minh Quân gửi đến toàn thể quý vị khán giả.
Now is a moment for us to invite our Prime Minister to come up here and give us a speech from Prime Minister Đào Minh Quân.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Major General Lee Win Shan. I'd like everyone please raise and give a round applause to welcome Prime Minister Đào Minh Quân to the stage. Xin mời Thủ tướng lên diễn đàn. Kính thưa quý vị, xin cho one more time a round of applause to welcome him.
Our dearest guest, by request of the Vietnamese in Vietnam and around the world, they would love to hear the Prime Minister's own voice. So, Prime Minister will address in Vietnamese, and the interpretation will follow. Please be seated. Thank you.